Una iglu, right?
Yeah, iglu.
Yeah, this would be a... Dupkaluni kuwa. Kanna.
So it's a house with an attached...
Idani tupakakpak. Tulik tupakakpak ay...
Yeah. A caribou tent would be. Un iluanili beroyaka.
Tiglingan higatan hamma idua.
Okay, so this would be outside of the cow, outside of the tent. And then just over here, they would have the caribou tent. Okay, this is where they store their meat. Ikaluinay.
Yeah, ikaluin.
The same thing for the one in the middle of
them? Okay, this is their where they would have the fire. The fire is where it's located.
Kano adjakak pa?
Nakikakbigo. Una nakikakbig.
Ikaluin. Di ako ilu. Ako naglulo. Kasi tigig tayo man.
Where they would store the fish bones, the fish head, like it's.
Ukutak tahamani iming nakok. Unik siyun ukuta. Taon na unakagado ako. Uyak kan ukutyo kay mayugaluin. Unik takto. Yung nalan.
Unik tak ukota.
Unik siyun. Unik ukutay. Unik lang may.
So there's a couple, there's some caches out there.
And there was a weir along here somewhere.
Kapukview, nani ito na kayo. Kapukvig.
Kapukvig kaktugan ng hamon. Imayak nakkoktaham na kami. Imayak na kami. Utok tayo man mo kami.
Ipo nga rin haman ito kaktugan ito maktaw yun.
Iya.
Maktaw yun. Pakibaygan, New York.
That's really neat to have that cliff behind.
Naugli hapukivinna.
Hapukivinnin abani tao kay tahamani dugaluin. Ikup tamak kay nay.
Aputay kumay kung nakaway.
Aputay diyan ni naman.
Yeah, aputay kawan.
I gather the last too many springs from this river.
Amani ipo nga rin kaktugan kapun tamang. Ipo.
Kaputi.
Kakibay.
Dahaman ito galuin.
Yeah, anyhow, ito.
There are washed away like the bones and the kakibiden. It's all washed away and disappeared.
Ganun naging heta.
What are they doing up there? Are they...
So it's important that we share each stories together. That way we can help each other, and it's important to share the stories of what has happened, like in the old days.
Minilingit talo kapagkatin at ang may hito ko ay nakakalakas katin mo talipit kaya mo kuwain mo talipit kaya mo ilaga mo at katilit at nakamit kalawak ko rin at mo talipit kaya mo at mo nakaktuwalak ko rin anhin kaya maninalita unip talukak ko sa walang mata ikayak ko dito kahit tamang nag-utak ka rin unip talukak ko sa walang
Although we may come from different backgrounds, like different places, but we reside all in Cambridge Bay, and some stories are similar. Some stories are like it all comes back to the Inuit tradition. So when we help each other and share the stories, then it'll help us, and it'll help us remember the time. And that way, when we help each other, we can share the stories and tell the stories about the Inuit tradition. That way, we can help our younger generation to keep the story alive. Even though we may come from different places, like different backgrounds, then it all comes down to the same thing. Like you come across a site here or in another community, but it all comes down to the same story, the same tradition, the same knowledge that the elders share their stories. And that way, like, we can help amongst each other. We can help each other, share the stories and help among the elders. We are quite sorry that we thought this might be the place, but it has been so many years that we've been here. Like, it's been so many years since we were growing up that we have been into this area. So the place where we actually wanted to go is located on the other side. And
That's fine. We can try to go there next. That's fine. It's not a problem.
Kakuguli uvatjago tahamungang niya ako na kayo hili namakto. So we can look at these caches now. If you want to do that, we can look at the caches and then go from there. Kina?
If there's any more interviewing we were going to do, it'd be good to do it now because we're set up.
Una
You may not find an ideal place.
Okay. This one, the fish are going up the river. Whichever river you're close to, whether it's Byron Bay or Halukviit or Halukviit, then the people would gather around these rivers and fish.
Kingong nagdipo wadakpak today. Kingong tutagya kaptanga.
That is when the fish are fattening to around the ocean, and that's when there's
Doesn't Alec remember when he was a boy how many people were living here when he was?
Analo kayo mayutit inuhuk tublutin ngok hafinik ligok inuit hamanak niu tau yu galui hafidli inuit kachimabaktilli hamani.
Kami guys paglanit takulit na tayo man ilagay na tayo man kau yung magtakarot tulang napat kundi napat kundi okay nuat kami takot buka kayo na kami guys paglanit takulit mga hamon
Around this area when I was growing up as a young person, I remember there was like maybe three or four families that would get together and fish around this place, because he mentioned that as I was growing up, there was not very many people that would come together,
Right.
like as a young lad. So the people that he mentioned, Dulugak Naluks and Napats and his family, like a group of 3 or 4 families would be together, like Margaret mentioned that, and Moses, that our families, our extended families, like, and our immediate families would go and travel together.
Now, if and Alex spent most of his summers during the fish run on the Halukviit, and it was such a wonderful fish river, why would they occasionally decide to do the fish run here instead of the Halukviit?
Kung manligok Halukviit nga inuit ilang ili halukving mungaw baktulu ilang ilo Haluktu mungaw baktulu kung manli dynamite bakto.
Hindi yung mayaman liit. Ano niya ako yung mayaman liit itumagangan tayo may pag.
Kanit sa kumilduay. Kanit kayaw kamigli.
Kanit kayaw kamigli. Kamladian. Ilang ilo. Kahariya yung pagkalit ang mil. Kanman ikalit yung inuwiyak pagkakay ba kau yung magtakariya.
Ayaw ko mayaman na
inuwiyak akilagay pagtutok katay manik ikalit yung inuwiyak luwak pag nakolo hapumang tayo manik.
When like people are around Halukviit, that would be the closest river that they can fish. And sometimes they would, like if they want to gather, because Halukviit was the main place where people would gather together and fish there. So if a family was around Halukviit, they would stay here and fish, depending on which river they're closest to. They would travel onto the river and do their fishing around that area, like around whichever area they may be at. So if say Analuk's family was around Halukviit, then they would fish, do their fishing in that river. But yeah, because whichever river that is closest to the, sometimes they would pick, and depending on how they travel, like in the springtime they would come here and then wait till summer and then do their fishing. But if like Halukviit would be the main place where many people would gather.
So if they were near enough, they would want to go to Halukviit. But if they were, let's say, in the summer hunting caribou and they came back to the sea here, it would make more sense to stay here than to go to Halukviit.
Daimagok train of thoughts ka. Daimagok tahapwat tuktuhioranga fi inuit tuktuhioranga ta tuktiuiorta ngata hamungauvaqtulliqan qiaugamik
Iya kuukkamuttau iqalukki siorniarpakkut mayulak nahuaraangat kuukkanungauvakkimu tuktuiortaaraati auja.
So once, yes, it depends on, which river you are at, with your caribou hunting at the right season. They would travel to the closest, the nearest river, people traveling out caribou hunting, and if they're near Halukviit, then they would do their fishing. People would go out hunting to catch the animals to feed their dogs, and in the summertime they would travel with some dogs to go out hunting, and then when they come back, like, they'd have enough meat to feed the people as well as their dogs. So that's how people had traveled when they were, when they're well enough to go out, like, because they didn't have pen and paper back then, they they just go out hunting, and that's how they survive, is hunting and fishing to keep their family going, as well as their dogs. My mother, Margaret Nakashuk's mother, is related to Analuk's family. Her mother is the cousin of Frank Analuk. Frank, Moses just asked, you haven't seen them two little dwarf people there? This is Bifiu Qinning.
Qinniugumi kamaat piruiqpammataqinniqu nipikpakkani una pikkiutaunnerpu humik iliuqqaviukunni iliuqqavinmigiluunninaa qanitni pikkiutaugumiluq nipilaikkinik taimaikkiuga.
This cache here would be considered a cache for dry fish. They stand their dry fish like their biffy on the end, yeah, so that every time it rains, they would
go straight down.
it would
Doesn't
go
collect
straight.
down.
Naliandunni bikkundu taimaa piruliuqtauruqtu nalianni piugunaqqa pirugunaqqa.
Either dry meat or dry fish. Either one. Ipaktay dinay. Namak.
Oo.
Kanakuli.
Panaktuniugumi taimaikkiqu kinipayukkini taa piruiqqiaqqamnummatigi pikku mayortat pikkiliorsan mayortat.
Yeah, they would
either
for dry meat or fish. They would have it at a certain way, so that way once it's rain, it won't collect all the water and then spoil the meat.
Were there any aglik texture for how the body of the fish would have to be
Dam
oriented?
nago now na ko mayokli agli ko huktunigli dai mai tumik nangi padaranga tali kanokli mikhanugli okauzaw baktun
taktun
aglik taktuni
tuukiulu aglaktaktu unniu waktu tupek mihana laitu manakkamruuki mihana waktu
dam nattaw iluani dut kodaranga ta nakemo
nauka kanut kaya tukkulgaan kiulu aglaktaktu luokakadua
iya aglik taktumi una pero yak mikhan
at nauka pero
not that
aglaktakayang kauyo mong
not that he know but ikayud lang nga ikayud like namaktok I'm gonna get married to have married here this is dam nattaw now na ko mayokli una ikalukyo ka nga ta bifidio ka nga tattaw ikaluit kuk kanokli night video ka nga tali bifin papero at gotta be facing the river kanokli
Nariyak ikaw. Kapag ko luhuro nariyak ng hatit pagkay.
Pipiliw ka namin.
Pipiliw kami, cook kami.
Kunhatis pagkailay anumit. Kunhatis at pulit. Pipiliw nakit ko. Papikoy. Kaya kingudliw mo. Iya, kingudliw mo. Kuli nga abo mo. Baw nga.
The stomach part of the bifi would be facing towards the ocean, and the top would be facing up the river. Yeah. That's how the woman would make their bifi. Kung madlitay might.
Kaluin mayo kung makugluwin.
It's a saying that more fish can come up the river. More fish can come up the river, and that's how they would continue in the
And what about the use of the black soot on the fish?
dam nattaw pau lunin.
Paulit ko yung naktaw bagot abakkwag. Apkwag. Paulit ko yung waknapkwag.
Akayan.
Akayan ko waknapkwag.
Kikuin na kaya ibigay. Iya, tayo malo. Hindi ka kakangan. Kaya na huwa ko. Akayan ka rin ang di.
Haman nilo.
Iya, naman yung kakupag kumain. Hindi ka kakangan. Kaya na huwa na kanan. Akayan ba?
So akayan.
Akayan.
Yung itiulo ka ni itiulo.
Hangin na. Bunyakwa.
On top of the head.
You put pao
The woman put
before they cut it up.
before
Before they cut up the fish, they put ashes on top.
from the heart they would grab they would get some soup and then just sprinkle it onto the
Right on top of the head.
kung malitay may pacto so that way they can have more fish abundantly in the future, more fish will.
And were there any agliktaktik that he could heard of concerning the use of hunting weapons around the river, like rifles or bows and arrows?
Dam na daw agliktak tunigli una duha ko magamit daw Which men are you talking? Like the men or
Just the use of
the Inuit
yeah.
in part? Inuit ngok hanok limek kukong ituli iluan itutkenin tam na tao
Ako sa ko talaga na kauli gumi.
You might have heard that. Well, he wants you really get the knowledge of the Inuit taboos, and he wants to know if you're really going to do that. That's why he's You're not a shaman, are you? Sorry, Darren. I'll take that back. Well, that's his question, not mine.
No, it's not that. He's just joking.
Ang nagpagpuan niya na kayo mga nagtutugdugo kay na iaabot ko na kay na ang niya na kayo mga nagtutugdugo ang himmawa nagtutugdugo kay ma iwak ko niya ang himmawa may ang nagtaw tilihan mo kay
They would follow the Inuit tradition that way, like when they're out, like when they're making biffy or working out, like they weren't the Inuit weren't supposed to work inside of their tents, so that bad things won't happen to their family, like sickness won't come across the family, or bad hunting will not come towards the family. So this is what they would follow. You aren't supposed to be doing these things when you're inside the tent. You shouldn't be working or so. You have to be out. That was what the Inuit would follow, so that sickness won't happen to their family or bad luck.
Yeah.
mamaya nagtitiyakin mami ay
Ako mali. Picture you to be tough mahanak kaya.
lipid yun.
I just wanted to know. It's too bad you don't have a written form where you can follow, but the words are coming out, so that's okay.
Actually, we talked about